Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Conversational English Podcast.
We're very happy you're here today.
Today, we're talking about something we all talk about.
Yesterday.
That's right. People often ask, "What did you do yesterday?"
It is a very common question.
Maybe a friend asks you.
Maybe a classmate asks you.
Maybe a coworker asks you.
Or maybe someone in your English class asks you.
If you can answer that simple question, you can have many everyday English conversations.
And that's exactly what we're going to practice today.
You don't need difficult grammar,
You don't need long sentences.
just simple English.
Natural English.
By the end of this English listening practice, you'll hear many useful expressions that you can use in real life. So just relax
Listen carefully.
and enjoy the conversation.
Before we begin, we'd love to hear from you.
Here's today's question.
What did you do yesterday?
You can answer with one sentence.
Or maybe 2 or 3 simple sentences.
Don't worry about being perfect.
Just try.
Every little step helps you improve your English.
And if you enjoy this English podcast and want more easy English conversation practice, we'd love to have you with us.
Now,
Let's talk about yesterday.
Daniel, what did you do yesterday?
Yesterday was a little different from my usual day.
Really?
Yes.
Now I'm curious.
I'll tell you everything.
Good. Start in the morning.
Okay. Yesterday, I woke up at about 7 o'clock.
That's earlier than me.
Are you surprised?
A little.
Usually, I wake up later.
So yesterday was already different.
Exactly. I woke up, opened the window, and looked outside.
How was the weather?
It was cool.
Nice.
The sky was clear, and the air felt fresh.
That sounds like a good start to the day.
It really was. Then, I made breakfast.
What did you have?
I had toast, 2 eggs, and a cup of coffee.
That's a good breakfast.
I thought so too.
I had cereal yesterday morning.
Do you usually eat cereal?
Sometimes. Sometimes I have toast. Sometimes fruit.
It's nice to change a little.
I agree.
After breakfast, I washed the dishes.
Good job.
Thank you.
Some people don't enjoy washing dishes.
I don't love it,
Me neither.
but I like having a clean kitchen.
Me too.
Then I answered a few emails.
Did you work yesterday?
Yes, I worked for a few hours in the morning.
Was it busy?
Not too busy. I finished my work before lunch.
That's nice.
I was happy because I still had the whole afternoon.
Listeners, here's a question for you.
Think about your answer.
Did you work yesterday?
Or did you study?
Or did you stay home? There are many correct answers.
Just answer in simple English.
For example,
I worked yesterday.
I studied yesterday.
I stayed home yesterday.
Very simple.
Very useful.
So what happened after work?
Well, something unexpected happened.
Oh?
But I'll tell you about that a little later.
You're making me wait.
Just a little.
All right. Then what did you do?
I made lunch.
Did you cook?
Yes.
What did you cook?
Just fried rice with vegetables.
That sounds delicious.
It was simple.
Did it taste good?
It did. Actually, I was surprised.
Really?
Yes. Usually my cooking is just okay.
Just okay?
Yes. But yesterday, it tasted much better than I expected.
That's wonderful.
I even wanted another plate.
That's always a good sign.
Have you ever surprised yourself when cooking?
Oh, yes. One time I made soup.
And?
I thought it would taste terrible. But everyone liked it.
That's a great feeling.
It really is.
I think cooking at home is fun.
I don't always agree.
Oh,
Sometimes I enjoy eating at a restaurant more.
really?
Yes. Someone else cooks.
That's true.
Someone else washes the dishes.
That's also true.
And I can relax.
I understand that.
But
But
Cooking at home can be special too.
especially when the food tastes better than you expected.
Exactly.
So maybe we're both right.
I think so.
Sometimes home is best.
Sometimes a restaurant is nice.
Both can make a good day.
Listeners, what do you think?
Do you enjoy cooking at home?
Or do you prefer eating at a restaurant?
Think about your answer.
You can say,
I like cooking at home.
or
I prefer eating at a restaurant.
both answers are great.
After lunch, I cleaned the kitchen.
Very responsible.
I tried.
Tried?
Yes,
Why tried?
because after I finished cleaning,
Yes.
I picked up a cookie.
Okay.
I took one bite,
Don't tell me.
and cookie crumbs fell all over the clean floor. Everywhere.
Oh no.
I looked at the floor.
and
I looked at the broom.
you had to clean again.
Yes. I laughed because it happened only 10 seconds after I finished cleaning.
That sounds like something that would happen to me.
Have you ever cleaned something
Yes?
and then made it messy again?
More than once.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Definitely not.
Yesterday taught me one thing.
What's that?
Don't eat cookies right after cleaning.
That's good advice.
At least wait a few minutes.
I'll remember that.
After I cleaned the floor again, I went outside.
Where did you go?
Just into my small garden.
Oh, that's nice.
I watered my plants.
Is that something you do every day?
Not every day. But yesterday I had time.
How was it?
Very peaceful. I stood there quietly. I listened to the birds. I looked at the flowers. And I thought,
What did you think?
I should do this more often.
I like that. Sometimes simple things make us happiest.
I think you're right.
People often think they need something big to enjoy the day.
But that's not always true. A quiet afternoon can be wonderful.
I completely understand that.
Do you enjoy quiet afternoons?
Usually, yes. But yesterday, my afternoon was a little different.
Really?
Yes. I went somewhere I don't visit very often.
Where did you go?
I'll tell you. But first, listeners, can you guess?
Did Emma go to a park?
Maybe.
Did she visit a friend?
Maybe.
Did she go shopping?
Maybe.
Think of your answer before Emma tells us.
It wasn't a very exciting place, but it became one of my favorite parts of the whole day.
All right, Emma. I can't wait anymore.
Okay, I'll tell you. Yesterday afternoon, I went to a bookstore.
A bookstore?
Yes,
I like bookstores.
me too.
Did you buy anything?
I did.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
A novel?
No.
A cookbook?
No.
I give up.
I bought an English learning book.
That's a very good choice.
I thought so too.
What was special about it?
The book used short conversations.
That's helpful.
Very helpful. Every conversation was about everyday life.
Just like our English conversations.
Exactly.
Did you read it yesterday?
I read a few pages after I got home.
Did you learn anything new?
Yes, I learned 2 new expressions.
That's great.
But my favorite part wasn't the new words.
Really?
No, my favorite part was feeling confident.
What do you mean?
I understood almost everything.
That's wonderful.
Last year, I couldn't understand many English books.
And yesterday?
Yesterday, I understood most of the conversations.
That's a big improvement.
It made me very happy.
That's one of the best feelings when you learn English.
I agree.
Sometimes we don't notice our progress.
That's true.
Then one day, we understand something that was difficult before.
And we think, wow, I can do this.
Exactly.
Listeners, maybe that has happened to you too.
Maybe you understand more English now than 6 months ago.
Sometimes progress is slow.
But slow progress is still progress.
Keep listening.
Keep practicing.
And don't give up.
Emma, how long did you stay at the bookstore?
About an hour.
That's a nice amount of time.
Yes, I looked at many books.
Was it busy?
Not really. It was quiet.
I like quiet bookstores.
Me too.
They feel relaxing.
That's the perfect word. Relaxing.
Did you have a cup of coffee there?
No,
Some bookstores have small cafes.
this one didn't.
That's okay.
I was happy just looking at the books.
Sometimes you don't have to buy many things.
Exactly. Looking is fun too.
That's true.
Then I walked home.
Did you listen to music?
No, I just enjoyed the walk.
That's nice.
I noticed the trees.
Really?
Yes, I noticed the flowers.
It's funny.
Why?
Yesterday, we both enjoyed quiet moments.
You're right.
You enjoyed your walk.
And you enjoyed watering your plants.
Maybe we needed a relaxing day.
I think we did.
Listeners, what about you?
Was your yesterday busy?
Or relaxing?
Think about your answer.
You can say,
My yesterday was busy.
or
My yesterday was relaxing.
both are useful sentences.
And both are very common in everyday English.
Emma, you said your favorite moment happened near the end of the day.
I did.
Was it after the bookstore?
Yes.
Tell us.
Well, I got home.
Mm-hmm.
I made a cup of tea.
Nice.
Then I wanted to read my new book.
Sounds peaceful.
It was. But first, I needed my glasses.
Of course.
So I looked on the table.
They weren't there?
No!
Did you look in your bag?
Yes!
Nothing?
Nothing. I looked on the sofa.
Still nothing?
Nothing.
Were you worried?
A little. I looked in the kitchen.
No glasses?
No glasses.
Where were they?
They were on my head. The whole time.
That's wonderful.
I spent several minutes looking everywhere.
While wearing them.
Exactly.
I think many people have done that.
I hope so.
Otherwise, I'm laughing alone.
You're definitely not alone.
Have you done that more than once?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe 3 or 4 times.
That's even better.
What about you?
I've looked for my phone while holding it.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny.
I asked, "Where's my phone?"
And?
My friend said, "It's in your hand."
We laughed for a long time.
I love little mistakes like that.
They're harmless.
And they're easy to laugh about.
Speaking of little mistakes.
Hmm?
Do you remember I said something unexpected happened after lunch?
Yes.
I almost forgot.
Well,
Don't make me wait again.
I won't.
I went for a short walk after watering my plants.
Okay.
I saw someone across the street.
Did you know the person?
I thought so.
Oh,
The person waved.
so you waved back.
I did.
Then what happened?
The person walked past me
Yes?
and started talking to someone standing behind me. They weren't waving at me.
Oh no.
They were waving at their friend.
What did you do?
I smiled.
Good idea.
Then I kept walking.
Did anyone notice?
Maybe.
Were you embarrassed?
Just a little.
I think that happens to many people.
It probably does.
If it happened to me, I would laugh.
I laughed too.
That's the best thing to do,
It became one of my favorite memories from yesterday.
even though it was a little embarrassing.
Yes. Sometimes the funniest memories begin with small mistakes.
I completely agree.
Earlier, we talked about cooking at home and eating at a restaurant.
Yes.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Which is better for important work?
Morning or evening?
Exactly.
Oh, that's difficult.
For me, morning is much better.
Really?
Yes. My mind feels fresh.
I understand. But I'm different.
You're an evening person?
I think so.
Interesting.
I often have good ideas in the evening.
Even after a long day?
Yes. Sometimes I make tea, sit down quietly, and suddenly I know exactly what to do.
That almost never happens to me.
Really?
By evening, I just want to relax.
That's fair.
So we'll never agree about this.
Maybe not.
But that's okay.
Different people work well at different times.
And that's perfectly normal.
Listeners, what about you?
Do you prefer mornings?
Or evenings?
Think about your answer.
You can say,
I prefer mornings.
or.
I prefer evenings.
There isn't one correct answer.
Only your answer.
Daniel, may I ask you something?
Of course.
Earlier you said, I went outside.
Yes,
Why did you say went?
that's a good question.
I think many English learners wonder about that.
We say go when we're talking about now, every day, or the future.
For example,
I go to work every day.
that's about your usual routine.
Exactly. But yesterday is in the past.
So we say,
I went to work yesterday.
just one word changes.
That's right.
Go becomes went.
You'll hear went very often when people talk about yesterday.
So listen for it whenever you watch an English video or listen to an English podcast.
The more you hear it, the more natural it will sound.
Daniel, I have another question that English learners often ask.
Go ahead.
Do we always need to say yesterday when we talk about the past?
Not always.
Really?
No. If people already know you're talking about yesterday, you don't have to repeat the word.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine someone asks, what did you do yesterday?
Okay.
I can answer, I worked in the morning, then I cooked lunch. After that, I watered my plants.
You didn't say yesterday again,
Exactly.
because everyone already knows we're talking about yesterday.
That's right.
But if the conversation changes,
Or if people don't know the time.
then it's helpful to say yesterday.
Exactly.
That's very useful.
And it's something you'll hear in everyday English conversations.
Daniel, can we practice a little together? I'd love to.
I'll ask you some simple questions.
Great.
What did you do yesterday morning?
Yesterday morning, I had breakfast and worked for a few hours.
What did you do after that?
Then I made lunch.
And after that?
After that, I cleaned the kitchen. Twice. Because of the cookie crumbs.
I don't think I'll forget that story.
Neither will I.
What was your favorite part of the day?
Watering my plants.
Why?
Because it was quiet. It helped me relax.
Nice answer.
My turn.
Okay.
What did you do yesterday afternoon?
I visited the bookstore.
What did you buy?
An English learning book.
What happened later?
I looked for my glasses.
Where were they?
On my head.
I still can't believe that.
I can. I've done it before.
Maybe you'll do it again.
I hope not. But if I do,
You'll have another funny story.
that's true.
Listeners, now it's your turn.
We'll ask you a few questions.
Answer aloud if you can.
Speaking helps you become more confident.
Ready?
First question.
What did you do yesterday morning? Good.
Second question.
What did you do yesterday afternoon? Excellent.
Third question.
What did you do yesterday evening? Wonderful.
Last question.
Was your yesterday busy?
Or relaxing. Great job.
There are many ways to answer.
The important thing is to keep speaking.
Don't worry if your sentences are short.
Short sentences are perfect for building confidence.
And confidence grows with practice.
Daniel, let's remember some useful expressions from today's conversation.
Good idea.
We heard,
What did you do yesterday?
I woke up,
I had breakfast.
then I
After that,
went,
I stayed home.
I worked,
I studied.
I cooked,
I watched TV.
I visited,
It was relaxing.
it was busy.
How was it?
That sounds nice.
Really?
These are simple expressions.
But people use them every day.
That's why they're so useful.
We also talked about some funny moments.
The cookie crumbs.
The wave across the street.
My glasses.
Your glasses were never lost.
They were just in a very funny place. And I think those little stories help us remember the English.
I agree.
When you remember the story,
You often remember the words, too.
that's one reason conversations are such a good way to learn English.
You're listening to real ideas,
Real feelings,
real experiences.
and real everyday English.
Before we finish, let's go back to the question we asked at the beginning.
What did you do yesterday?
Now you've heard lots of useful English.
So maybe your answer is a little longer now.
Maybe you can say,
Yesterday, I woke up at 7.
I had breakfast.
Then I worked.
After that, I cooked dinner.
In the evening, I watched TV.
It was a relaxing day.
That's a wonderful answer.
Or maybe your yesterday was completely different.
That's okay too.
Everyone has a different story.
And every story is a chance to practice English.
We hope today's conversation helped you feel more comfortable talking about yesterday.
Remember, you don't need perfect English.
You just need to keep using it.
A few words today,
A few more tomorrow.
And before you know it,
You'll be speaking with more confidence.
thank you so much for spending time with us today.
We always enjoy these conversations with you.
If you enjoyed this easy English conversation practice, come back for another episode soon.
We'll have more everyday topics,
More useful expressions,
more listening practice.
and more opportunities to improve your English naturally.
Until next time,
take care,
keep listening.
keep speaking.
And remember,
Every conversation helps you become a more confident English speaker.
goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.